Welcome to the Doubles Only Tennis Podcast, where you learn the best doubles strategies to improve your game and win more matches. I'm your host, Will Bocek. This podcast, my website, and my weekly newsletter all focus on the goal of better understanding the sport of doubles and helping players like you improve faster through actionable advice that you can use in your very next match. My goal is to provide the best doubles strategy resources in the world. And to do that, I study, analyze, and work with players at every level of the game, all the way up to the ATP and WTA tours. If you enjoy this podcast, I've created doubles strategy products that go even deeper if you want to take your doubles knowledge to the next level. At the end of this episode, I'll explain more about them, or if you want to learn more now, go to thetennistribe.com/products. Here's today's episode. Hey y'all, I am at my hotel room in Indian Wells, California, recording this. But this episode is from last week. This is from the ATX Open in Austin. I sat down for about 30 minutes with Kimberly Birrell. Kimberly is the number 76 doubles player, or singles player. I'm sorry, I'm so used to saying doubles. She's the number 76 singles player on the WTA Tour. She's 175 in doubles. And she made the finals of the mixed doubles tournament down at the Australian Open earlier this year. So in this conversation, we talk about her run in Australia. She played with JP Smith. She talks about what she learned from him. He's a doubles veteran for sure. So she talks about how he helped kind of develop her confidence and also helped her see the doubles court kind of like a doubles player a little bit better. We also talked at the very beginning of the conversation with Kimberly's tennis WAG, Matt. He defines what a WAG is, if you're not familiar with that term, and he talks about his roles and responsibilities as well. And then after we discussed the Australian Open, we transitioned to the improvement process. Kimberly has had some injuries throughout her career, but over the last year or so, her ranking has steadily been climbing, and she talks about how she views improvement slightly differently than she used to earlier in her career. And I think you're going to be able to take away some really good kind of mindset tips on improvement for yourself, whether you're a singles or a doubles player. And then towards the end of the conversation, we talk about different goals for the year, plans for doubles for Kimberly going forward, and then, of course, how to make doubles more popular, as well as the mixed doubles changes at the U.S. Open. So this is a really fun conversation. You're going to get to know Kimberly as well as Matt a little bit here during this 25 or 30 minutes. So without further delay, enjoy this interview with Kimberly Birrell. Hey everyone, welcome to the show. Today we have Kim Birrell on. Kim, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So I want to talk about your Australian Open mixed doubles run. You did well in women's doubles also. But before we get to that, I actually want to talk to Matt here about what it's like to be a WAG on tour. Matt, if you can first define what a WAG is.
For those who don't know what WAG stands for.
Tell us what it is and what your roles and responsibilities are as a WAG.
Oh boy. Well, WAG, I don't know if it's international, but back home it's wives and girlfriends of professional athletes.
Big in footy.
Big in the footy. We don't yet have a term, I don't think, for the men traveling around with their
boyfriends and husbands.
Professional female athletes. But yeah. Husbands and boyfriends, so the habs, I guess, but WAGs just slips off the tongue a bit nicer. But yeah, really, it's a role of putting out fires, taking responsibility for everything that happens, even if it's not your fault. And yeah, it's just be a companion on tour and make sure that stuff goes as smoothly as you can possibly make it do.
What's a fire you've had to put out recently?
Oh boy.
5 minutes ago.
Well, our hotel booking is according to the tournament cancelled and according to the hotel okay. So instead of letting Kim deal with talking to both parties, I'll take that one under my stride and hopefully sort that one out so we have somewhere to stay tonight. But if not, I'll find a new hotel. That'll also be my responsibility.
Sounds like a lot of work. All right. Kim, let's
I'm not that high maintenance, I swear.
all right, so back to you, Kim. So you played your first singles match here in Austin. No doubles for you this week. Talk us through what it felt like to get that win last night.
Yeah, it felt awesome to get a win here in Austin. It's been great so far. This is our first tournament of this little swing. So yeah, it feels really good to get the first win under my belt and hopefully can keep building the momentum into Indian Wells, Miami. I really like the conditions at these tournaments and love my hard court. So I want to hopefully play as many matches as possible going into the clay court swings. But yeah, obviously last night I played against the defending champion. So kind of felt like there wasn't too much pressure on me. She was also higher ranked. So yeah, I just tried to go out and enjoy it. And yeah, I'm glad that I was able to do that and play some good tennis, especially under pressure. Sorry.
You're good. No, so the Australian Open, so you played all three events. You made third round of women's doubles, I believe, then finals of mixed doubles. Talk about those 3 weeks. What kind of went right on the doubles side? And what did you learn during those couple of weeks as well?
Oh, that's a tough one. Yeah, I was really grateful to have the opportunity to play in all three events. Liv and I, we played the year before and played really well together. So I knew that teaming up with her, that we had a good chance of doing well again. And yeah, I think the biggest thing for me with doubles, because I don't get to play that often, is just to believe in myself and back myself. I think if you let any of that little hesitation get in, and especially at the net, it can freeze you and everything happens a lot faster on the doubles court. So yeah, we got a good start in our first round match, and I think that relaxed us both quite a bit. And also great that we know each other so well. We both grew up on the Gold Coast and we practiced together. So I think, yeah, that synergy is really good between us. And I think that is really important in doubles too. And I think that extended into my mixed doubles pairing with JP. We just had so much fun and enjoyed every second being out on court. And yeah, that like shone through in the tennis. And especially with JP, I felt like he really believed in me, and that gave me a little bit of extra belief. I felt like I got a little bit taller somehow, a little bit bigger at the net. And especially in the big moments, we won a couple of really tight super tie breakers. I think just knowing that even if I made a mistake, if I went for it and it was the correct play, that he was going to be fine no matter what. So yeah, it was really great, super great experience.
That sounds like a good doubles partner.
Yeah.
I'm curious, is there anything like strategically that you learned from him? He's been playing doubles for a while at a really high level.
One thing, I feel like he uses his lob so well. And I think in women's doubles, especially for me playing more singles than coming onto the doubles court, you can get caught, and that's in the singles mentality of like staying back and getting into the cross court rallies. And yeah, I think by the end of the week playing with him, I started to think more like a doubles player. Like I saw the whole court. I saw some more of the openings that he was able to find, like with the lob and then coming forward. And yeah, it was really cool. Like we sort of found our groove, like when I was able to stay back and him go forward, like he even trusted me to take some of those ones down the middle. So yeah, I think, like I said before, just belief, like backing myself and coming forward when I know it's the right thing to do, even though I feel more comfortable at the back. I think that I still have pretty decent volleys. So, yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like the belief, you've used that word like 3 or 4 times. And I think that's something, so a lot of people who listen to this are like country club players, like we're at a country club now. And
a beautiful country club.
I think it's something that's like underrated for club level players that they don't think about. And even a lot of like pro teams, honestly, like aren't the best doubles partners to each other all the time. So allowing, like, it sounds like JP, regardless of what happens on the court, like he has your back. And that's
Yes.
something that is so important in
Yeah.
doubles because it basically frees you up to like be yourself and play with confidence, I guess.
Yeah. He allowed me to be, myself, and gave me the freedom to even make mistakes sometimes.
Mhm.
And even when I made an error, if it was maybe not the right thing, I sort of know, and then we'd have a little chat about it. And he's like, it's all good. Next time, if you're in this situation, maybe try this.
Mhm.
And then, but you're doing great.
Yeah.
Like a compliment sandwich.
Like compliment
kind of
sandwich. Yeah, that's
thing.
perfect.
And then
It's really good language. Like that's
yes.
important.
Yeah. And then when I made an error doing the correct thing, he was really encouraging, like, yeah, that was the right shot. Great move. Next time when you're in that situation, you're going to make it. So, and then oftentimes that would happen again on a big point, 5-all in the super tiebreaker. And because of the way he spoke to me and treated me, had enough belief to really to go for it. And then we came up with some amazing super tiebreaker results. So I think that is underrated for sure.
So I want to shift to kind of the improvement side of the game. So I know you're focused on singles. Obviously, you're at a career high or close to it right now in singles, and you've been on a pretty steep kind of upward trajectory recently. What do you attribute that improvement to, especially over the last, say, year or so?
Yeah, I think probably a few things. I feel really clear on what I'm focused on the practice court, and really intentional about each practice, which has been really good. But probably the main overarching thing is just I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying improving. And when you can see what you've been working on the practice court come through on the match court, is just such a good feeling. And it makes you want to work even harder. And I think I'm much less focused on my ranking and results. And I know that's what everyone always says. And when I was injured, I heard it so many times to trust the process. But I really have been doing that. And I think I fell into a little bit of a trap in 2023 where I felt like I had to just keep playing each week, and was checking my ranking nonstop. Even on days I didn't have a match, before and after matches, I was checking my ranking because I was really close to getting to the top 100. And I kind of went on a bit of a downward spiral because I wasn't trusting the process. So I think it was something that I needed to learn and to go through to come out and figure out what works best for me, scheduling wise too. Because living in Australia, we don't get to go home that often. So you kind of feel like if I'm on the road, I may as well keep playing. But now I feel really clear on what works best for me in terms of the amount of tournaments I should play in a row, when to take a break. And I think I'm sort of nailing that department as well. So just feeling overall very positive on and off court.
Is there anything or anyone that like helped you shift from like looking at your ranking every day to like not worrying about that as much and focusing on that process? Or I think for a lot of players, like they have to go through that to get to like learn, and there's just no substitute for like experience.
I think that was the case for me. I had to figure that out on my own, but I've for sure been really fortunate to have some amazing people in my corner, especially ex-players who are now coaching, that they've also been through it and they recognized it in me and have been able to give me some really sound advice. But like you said, I think I needed to experience it. And I think it happened a little bit later for me potentially than some other players, because I've had a few years out with injury. And when I came back, I felt like I was just a little bit behind, and it was really my first full year on tour when I was only 24, 25. So, I think it was, partly that as well. I just wanted to catch up as quickly as I could instead of just going with the flow. So, some of the people that have really helped me, one of the first people to recognize it was Jeff Masters. He's an ex-player, has won a lot of doubles Grand Slams, and is a great friend of my dad's. He commentates and watched a few of my matches at the Australian Open in 2024, and that was when I was sort of hitting that bit of burnout. It was him, and then Nicole Pratt, who I'm traveling with quite a bit now. I'm working with her. I'm absolutely loving, and she's helped me really hone in on the certain areas that I need to improve. So hugely grateful for them and to have them in my corner.
Is there any advice you would give yourself, say like 5 or 7 years ago?
Oh, that's a tough one. I think probably just not to take anything for granted. 7 years ago, I was probably just about to have my second surgery, I think. It's been a bit of a roller coaster, especially during that time. Probably just that things are going to be all right and not to stress too much. I think it's a bit of a trait that us tennis players have because we have to organize quite a lot of things, our schedules and our teams, and there's just lots of moving parts. And
your WAG should be doing a lot of that.
Yeah. Honestly, I should thank Matt more often because he also has taken a bit more extra time off work to travel with me, and just helps a lot with like staying in the same routine that I would have at home. I'm definitely like a home person, and we're getting off topic to the question you asked me now. Sorry.
You're good.
Gosh, it's really, really hard. I've been given a lot of good advice over the years, and I always blank when I need it the most.
Yeah. Well, sometimes it's like the experience thing, right?
Yeah.
Like you could have given yourself the best advice in the world maybe 5-10 years ago, or when you're coming up as a junior. And with the same with a lot of junior players today, or kids just in general, like you can give them advice, but they can't learn the lesson until they experience the thing, right?
Yeah.
And it's like they're not just going to take your advice and run with it. Like they got to learn it. You got to.
One thing it's a tough one. Jeff said to me a little while ago, a few months ago, he was like, "It's better to die on your feet than live on your knees." Is that the correct way to say that quote? I know it sounds a bit like harsh, but I think it was more just like have no regrets, and especially on the big moments on court, like just go for it. Like one match that I had, which I think we started talking about this, was I had a second serve. I was returning and she hit a second serve on break point, and I hit a short return. Like I sort of pushed the return back, and that was like one of the key moments in the match where I think it could have turned in my favor, and it didn't. And then, so since then I've sort of just been trying to remember that moment and how it felt when I didn't do it. And I don't want to feel like that again. Like if I get a chance, I want to take it. And even if I miss, I can sleep at night knowing that I gave it 100%.
Yeah, good advice. So any goals for the rest of the year, and also any plans to play more doubles the rest of the year?
Yes, definitely plans to play more doubles. It is really hard. I haven't necessarily, I focus on singles sort of just because of where my ranking's at. And have been in qualifying of most of the WTAs, which makes it hard if you're still playing doubles to make qualies of the following week. So now that my ranking's a little bit higher, I definitely want to play more doubles, and if I'm in main draw, I'll definitely be able to do that. So I'm really hoping to play more doubles this year and improve. I think it can really improve your singles too, like getting more matches, more time on court, more serves and returns. There's so many benefits to doubles, and also that's just like really fun. I like being in that team environment. So for sure. And then singles goals, just in general, I want to stay happy and healthy and keep on this trajectory. But even when, I'm aware that things can change so quickly, and I may not be on this upward trajectory for the whole year in terms of my ranking. So yeah, just not to put too much pressure on myself and keep trusting the process.
Awesome. Last question. How can we make doubles more popular?
Ooh. I think you're doing an amazing job, like bringing more awareness to it with, all of your stuff like podcast and media. But even I had so many people say to me during the Aussie summer, we watched your mixed doubles and it was so much fun. We enjoyed it much more than watching some of the singles we did that day. So I feel like, people sometimes just don't know and don't realize how cool it is to watch. So yeah, if I'm playing doubles, hopefully I can bring a few people over to the Dubs life.
Yeah, bring more Aussies.
Yeah.
Rich history of
think?
Doubles.
I'd like to hear your answer.
I've got lots of opinions on this.
Yeah.
So it's a thing of like, it's like a chicken or the egg problem, right? So it needs more marketing, but the tours or tournaments are not going to put more dollars into the marketing until it proves that it can generate revenue.
Yeah.
But how's it supposed to generate revenue if people don't know about it, right? So like what comes first? So there's like a combination of a lot of things that need to happen. The tours do need to invest more in marketing, do easy things like social media posts. So I was at a tournament a few weeks ago and I scrolled through their Instagram and Twitter. I had to go through 86 posts to find a doubles one. And it was from before the tournament. And this was on Thursday of the tournament. So this was like through over half the tournament and there was no doubles post. And then Twitter was like 90 something. Like it was, so they basically just didn't post about doubles. Yeah. So if you're following those accounts as a fan, like maybe you'd rather go watch like Jessica Pegula play singles or something because she's the star. But how are they even supposed to know that the doubles is going on? Yeah. So I think that's one side of it. I think doubles players, some doubles players can do a better job of like taking it into their own hands. So like all of these tools I'm talking about are free. Yeah. Like they can take their own social media profiles and like try to, I don't know, get more media coverage for themselves. So that could
some
help.
Great characters in the doubles. There are. Yeah, especially like teams as well. So I hope more people get invested.
There's a coach I talked to in Australia who said the Netflix should have covered the doubles tour instead.
Yes.
Because the singles players,
so much more interesting.
It would have, because the singles players have these PR teams and they're like not allowed to say certain things, and the doubles players will just go off, and then the partnership drama. Yeah, like that would have been a really good reality TV show. Totally. So they could still do that. So there's a lot of different angles.
If you're listening.
But there's a combination, like with the U.S. mix changes, like it's gonna help to have single stars in the draw to draw more eyes on doubles. But there's a balance. Like they're also taking out all the doubles specialists out of the mixed draw, so that's gonna be tough. So I wish there was a little bit more of a balance. But anyways, we'll see what happens. Awesome, Kim. Well, thank you for coming on. Matt, thanks for joining us as well.
Thanks so much for having me.
Good luck in the next round.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of the Doubles Only podcast. If you're interested in diving deeper into any topics I discuss, I've created doubles strategy products that allow me to bring you more podcasts and other doubles content without relying on paid ads. I have ebooks and courses that help you make better strategic decisions during matches and become the smartest player on the court. Go to thetennistribe.com/products to learn more. You can also join my free weekly double strategy newsletter that includes video lessons and more on our homepage. If you want to connect, you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, or email me directly, will@thetennistribe.com.